When you think about the Holt family, the first thing that comes to mind is how far they have come in the public eye. Melody and Martell Holt were once celebrated as the ultimate power couple, admired not just by fans of Love and Marriage, Huntsville but also by people who saw them as a symbol of black excellence, ambition, and success. They had the good looks, the charm, the business ventures, and the beautiful family that made them appear unstoppable. For years, viewers looked at them and thought, this is what partnership is supposed to look like. But today, that image has been shattered. What was once private tension has now become a public war, and the feud between Melody and Martell has grown into one of the most explosive battles we've ever seen play out in reality TV history. The way this feud has escalated is something that almost feels unbelievable. Instead of keeping things behind closed doors, Melody and Martell have taken their pain, their anger, and their accusations straight to the public. From Instagram lives to interviews to on-camera showdowns, the two of them have dragged each other in ways that fans cannot stop talking about. Every post, every video, every word they exchange has become a piece of evidence in this ongoing saga. And the truth is, neither one of them seems ready to back down. What we are watching isn't just a marriage falling apart. It's a complete transformation from partners to public enemies. In order to understand how things reached this point, we have to go back to where it all started. Melody and Martell weren't just another reality TV couple. They built their brand and their reputation together long before things started unraveling. Both of them had the drive and vision to turn their relationship into something bigger than themselves. They were entrepreneurs, business partners, and reality stars who seemed to be setting the standard for others to follow. For many fans, they represented the dream, a couple who could have love, family, and success all at the same time. That's why their downfall hits even harder. People didn't just see them as characters on a show. They saw them as an inspiration, which makes the current chaos all the more heartbreaking, but as we've seen time and time again, reality TV has a way of pulling back the curtain. What starts out looking perfect often reveals cracks that have been there all along. With Melody and Martell, those cracks began with the pressures of building a business empire, raising kids, and maintaining a marriage while under the spotlight. On the outside, they smiled for the cameras, but behind the scenes, there were arguments, trust issues, and emotional struggles that slowly began to spill out in public. Fans noticed the little things. Tight smiles, sharp comments, awkward silences, and started to wonder if the Holts were really as solid as they appeared. Those whispers soon turned into one of the biggest scandals the show has ever seen, Martell's infidelity. What started as rumors and speculation eventually became undeniable proof that Martell had been unfaithful, and not just in a casual way. This was a long-running affair, one that rocked the foundation of the Holt marriage. The other woman, Ariane Curry, went from being a hidden name in the background to one of the most talked-about figures in the entire franchise. Suddenly, the Holt marriage was no longer about love and ambition. It was about betrayal, humiliation, and the devastating reality of infidelity playing out in front of millions of people. For Melody, the pain was not just personal, it was public. Imagine trying to process the betrayal of your spouse while the world watches and comments on every step you take. Melody admitted that she tried to fight for her marriage, tried to forgive, and tried to keep her family together. But the cycle of infidelity didn't stop. And when the truth came out that Martell had fathered a child outside of their marriage, that was the breaking point. The dream was shattered, and Melody knew she couldn't continue down the same path. Filing for divorce was her way of reclaiming power, but the feud that followed made it clear that this separation was not going to be quiet or simple. Martell, on the other hand, wasn't willing to sit back and let the public see him as the villain without fighting back. Instead of admitting fault and stepping out of the spotlight, he doubled down. He went on social media, he gave interviews, and he pushed his own narrative about why the marriage fell apart. He claimed that Melody wasn't giving him what he needed emotionally, and he suggested that their relationship had been broken long before the affair came to light. To many fans, this came across as Martell refusing to take accountability. But to him, it was about making sure his side of the story was heard. And this is where the feud turned into an all-out battle, what could have been handled privately between two parents instead exploded into public content. Melody used her platform to speak her truth, often sharing raw and emotional moments with her fans. She was direct, unapologetic, and unafraid to call Martell out for what he had done. Her strength and honesty earned her massive support from viewers, especially women who had been through similar experiences. Martell, meanwhile, fired back with his own lives and posts, often defensive, fiery, and deeply personal. The two of them weren't just ex-spouses anymore. They were opponents in a war that played out across social media, television, and every corner of the internet.